Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSI DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, MegaRower31. Going to bang out the quick Bristol video so I can get it out to you so that you can have it for the truck race tonight, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. So this isn't a dirt race this time, which it's cool. And some of the other differences here is they're going 250 laps. They've never gone that far before in a truck race, they were saying during practice, and also that they did put some of the PX Stickum stuff on the track, but it's very thin. So not a ton of grip on it. It was a pretty green track when they went out there and did practice and qualifying. Now, Cup's going to have some time on there, too, to lay down some more rubber. But the track is, of course, going to change. So put the practice times on. I know it says day and ATL. I forgot to change those headers there. But see if I can do that quick. So that's practice, and this one is the differential between their practice and their qualifying. So we will look at this. We'll just start at the top and just jump right into this. So Eckes was out there, looked best in practice, and if you look at the last few races here, it's pretty much been one or maybe two dominators. You don't see really much more. It's usually somebody gets out there and just has a really strong truck and just takes off and just flies away. And it's you really want to try to figure out who that dominator is going to be, or maybe two dominators. With the extra laps, I mean, that's more opportunity for fast laps and for laps led. So we'll take that into consideration also. But the one thing is that it's such a short track that you can lose laps so fast in this that you really don't want to chase too much place differential. So your place differential you want to find is like in the middle of the pack. You don't want to look at guys that are way down there. And there wasn't anybody, in my opinion, that really qualified like super low that didn't deserve to be down there, that shouldn't end up down there. I think the cream pretty much rose to the top for this one. The drivers with their names in yellow are just rookies, so I just put that to be able to see that. So definitely Eckes is going to be my prime play here. Prime plays and record plays in cash. So definitely like him. Think he'll be very popular. Nicholas Sanchez, I think, also could be a dominator here. He could potentially get ahead of Eckes on if he gets a really good jump on the start and gets ahead of him there. And he has led races and is a very strong young driver. So I like him in cash if you want to pair the two of them and make them your two dominators. And that's how I think I'm going to make him build, is two dominators, two middle of the pack place differential plays, and then a couple strong punts that aren't so far back that they're going to get swallowed up right away and just go down lap after lap after lap. Taylor Gray, I like the upside here as an upside dominator for a GPP. Kyle Busch is a tough decision at 1,500 or 15,000. I don't think he can do enough, even if he wins the race. I don't think he's going to go out there and completely dominate this. Usually when Kyle Busch is here, I'll split my cash. But today I think I'm not going to do a 50-50. I think I'm going to do it like 2/3. I think I'm going to put 2/3 of it on an Eckes balance line, and I think I'll have 1/3 on a Kyle Busch line. I don't know if I'll have Eckes in that line, but definitely Kyle Busch makes a strong GPP play. It's just you just have so little salary left if you roster him that he just needs to literally fire on all cylinders and do everything right and get out there and be the main dominator and win the race. Because if he crashes early, that's a huge chunk, even though I think he'll be highly owned by those who have just watched him dominate the truck series, the 5 races he's been allowed to run last couple of years. But it's a little different situation this year because he doesn't own the team anymore. He sold his team. Inspire has him on board with the team that he sold there. But I think he's doing more research and development for them. He just kind of enjoys this, but I don't see him as the solid dominating force he has been in the past couple of years. Ty Majeski, really like this play here. I think he'll be highly owned. I think he can be another strong candidate as your second dominator too. Caruth, amazing win last week. Came back pretty strong here. Practice wasn't great. Did look better in the long run than he did in like the short run. So I think he'll be okay for a GPP upside dominator play. Zane Smith comes back, and he's in the MHR truck also. And MHR has looked really good here. If you look in the top 10, you've got 4 of their trucks, and they're just a really strong program here at this track. But I think he's probably has the number 4 truck out of all of them, because he's not racing for a title or for points or for anything. So where Ankrum and Dye and Akis are. So it gives him an advantage, because he can, and same thing with Kyle Busch, that he can get off, different pit strategies and be able to get out there. And he led a couple laps, I think it was like last year in the fall or so. I think he like stayed up longer, so like he was able to lead some laps at that point. But then once he had a pit, he couldn't like make his way back up there. So that's something that you can use as a strategy, and it could help him get out there. It could help him lead some laps, but I don't know if he'll be able to stay out there. Again, it's not the same situation, not the pit crew he had last year. He's like not always racing in this truck, so that's kind of a setback for him, but he is a very good driver in the truck series, a lot of experience, so I think it makes a phenomenal GPP play and a great pivot off of Kyle Busch there. Caden Honeycutt, I know some people like him up here, and he has done pretty well to start out the season, but I just can't see him staying in the top 10. So he's got to be a fade for me here. I like the price point and everything. I thought it was borderline GPP, but I just can't do it. I just think he's going to fall backwards. Ankrum, another upside dominator play here. I think that he has started the season off very strong. Looks really good on this team, and I think he's someone definitely that you can consider in GPPs as your dominator, and maybe the purple dominator. If you want to pair him with Akis as your D2, I'm okay with that. Daniel Dye, I have as a GPP up here. Again, good, solid team. I don't think he gets up there and leads laps, so I couldn't give him the dominator tag. I think he's solid enough, especially with how the rest of this team has performed, to stay in the top 15. I don't think he advances too far forward. I don't think he loses too much. I don't think he leads the lap. So I think finishing position is his upside at his price. Chase Purdy and Bailey Curley, I think, are very strong plays here too. For finishing position, they both started off and had a decent season so far. They looked good with their practice speeds and everything, so I'm okay playing them in cash. Grant Enfinger, I think, can get up there and be a dominator play. Definitely is in consideration for that. Has run really well here. This CR7 team is a subsidiary or like an affiliation to MHR, so it's almost like they have a 5th truck out there. And he's got a good crew chief and everything, and has run really well here in the past, so I think I really like him as a dominator. Potentially. I think he can get up there and potentially lead. I think he'll be high owned. Connor Jones had the 2nd fast practice speed. He had really good long run speed here, and this Thor Sports young, I think he just turned 18 recently. He's either in his late teens, but young driver, a lot of potential. 6K, great price tag. I think he can stay in the top 20, even if he loses a couple spots at 6K. I think he's just from what I saw in practice, I think he's going to have a solid day here. Corey Heim, I think, will be super popular just because he's probably the best driver in this series, in my opinion. And 5th in practice, didn't qualify great. I think he's an upside dominator. And his price isn't horrible, but he's, besides Kyle Busch, he's actually a nice pivot off of Kyle Busch, because you're saving $5,000 there, and you have some place differential baked in. There's a lot of good things here, but he just didn't fit in my cash build. I love him in a GPP, and I think that he could potentially get up there and be a 2nd dominator, or if there's 3 dominators in this race, that he could be the 3rd one. But he also is racing for a title here, so he's got to go for stage points, so that gives him an advantage over, well, disadvantage if he's up there with like Zane Smith or with Kyle Busch, who are guys that are just coming here to win and not necessarily competing every week in the series. Ben Rhodes, GPP here. I didn't really like his long run speed. Like he looked okay hasn't started the season super solid. I just think there's better plays here. So I'm not going to say he's a fade. I think he'll be highly owned because people look at him and think there's a great plates differential there, but I'm not going to be playing him in cash. Jake Garcia, I think, is solid here at 7K. Like somebody starting the same kind of position, even though his practice speeds were a little bit not as good. But I think, you know, saving $1,500, if I had a choice between he and Ben Rhodes, I'd take Garcia here. Matt Mills is a very vanilla driver, not a ton of upside. Don't think he finishes in the top 20, but definitely a top 25. Don't think he advances much. GPP. Same thing with William Swalich here. Not super excited. And it's just ignore my note there, because my note there was, I think that was for like Ben Rhodes, that there was like a huge fall off from his 10-lap average. Like he looked really good when he was racing like early, but I think when he got out to like his 10-lap average, he was like 20th fastest. There's a huge fall off there, so that's another reason I put Rhodes at a GPP. Crafton, I think, is okay with a very good veteran. Ran many laps at Bristol and 15th, so I think he can definitely get at least 5 place differential points. Might even be able to get up into the top 10. I think he knows how to pass people and not get passed, and I think that he's definitely has a lot of upside there for cash. Tanner Gray, I think, is solid down here also. This isn't usually a 21st place truck. I think he can get up into the top 20 to 15th. Dean Thompson has been solid to start out the season also. At 68, I really liked, if you look at his practice feed at 25, but some of his more long run, he actually was one of the ones that I think went out like for like 15 or 20 laps and looked decent, and it didn't have a ton of fall off. Like his fall off was, his times out there with like 20 laps were like probably middle, like to like getting up into like the top half of the pack, and for like people's 5-lap speed. So I mean, to me, that's pretty good there. Especially being able to like manage tires here. It's not a huge tire wear track, but tires definitely are in play, and I think I like that for the upside. Stuart Friesen, everybody thinks, well, he's done really well at Bristol. Well, he's done well at Bristol Dirt, and he's just not in great form the last couple of seasons. I just don't know it's just decline, if he's like over the hill or starting to become dusty or what's going on here, but GPP for me. Brett Holmes and Stefan Parsons, I think, are the solid guys that this is the floor where I'm going. I think both of these are great plays for a little bit of place differential, or to be able to kind of hold their place and not get past and have a solid finish. I think, you know, if you're looking for like some value plays and don't want to dip like too far down, I mean, Parsons is 64, which is a little bit stiff, but Holmes at 58, I think this is the nice sweet spot. They're the cheapest guys besides Honeycutt, which I think will just be popular with his price point there, but I just fear that he falls down. Curly is at 66, and Jonas is a prime. So there are some other ones in this range, but I think there's more safety here, paying the $200 more than Matt Mills for Parsons, and you're saving $400 from like Mills for like Holmes, and have a whole bunch more place differential potential. So I really like those two, and I think that's where I'm going to stop. I don't think I'm really going to play much past unless I'm building some extremely weird like lineup where I need like some super punts in it. Ty Dillon, not interested, 7,300, and he just really hasn't shown anything, and this team hasn't shown anything really, even Matt DiBenedetto for the last couple of years. I don't think the drivers are the problem. I think just the team just isn't hitting it. Timmy Hill, I just fear is going to slip backwards at 5,900. It's a decent price, but I just think he's starting a little bit too far forward there. Lane Riggs, 82. I think he'll be popular here. He's a very talented young driver. He's on Zane Smith's old team and Todd Gillian's old team, and this team has been exceptional, and I think it will all start to click. But it hasn't come together yet. Just kind of like Rajah Crew, like we saw something beautiful like finally come together last week with that, and I think it's going to happen. But he's got to learn, and this is the first short track that he's been on in the truck series here among these guys, I believe. So it's going to take some reps and some time before we can get there. 82, the price is just kind of steep, especially if you're trying to get like Kyle Busch or like Heim in your lineup. You're not going to be able to do it and like the rest of your lineup. So I'm not going to be able to do that. But GPP, I'm not going to see his fade. Lalo Sale and GPP. Reum, not a huge fan of the equipment, but I think he's better than some of the other ones down here. Spencer Board, not a fan of this team. Think he's a fade. Mason Massey, GPP, Carroll, okay. Thad Moffitt, he's the grandson of Richard Petty. Like, there it should be more on this team, but this Faction 46 team really hasn't shown much yet. I thought they had some potential, but that's going to be kind of wait and see. So I'm not super interested in any of these ones. If I have to pick somebody from down here, I'd probably take Carroll at just the 52 price point. If I need it, or Massey. Keith McGee, not interested in. Like, he'll never stays on lead laps, and not great. Trey Hutchins, GPP, maybe he's like a solid punt down here also at 51. I just don't like. I just think these guys are going to end up like 10, 15 laps down and just not be able to even be competitive. Not like you need to stay in a lead draft, but they just get swallowed up so fast here, and I just think that they're just like back markers, and that's not good at this type of track. And then Mason Maggio had like some kind of fluid flying out of his truck after like practice or qualifying, or actually practice. He couldn't even qualify, and it's a small single team here, and I just don't know if they'll be able to get everything repaired and even be able to race and make it through the whole race. And he's starting in the back and just probably going to get swallowed up fast. So just like X button, no, not interested. So that's what I got for you. Like I said, you want to try to find 2 dominators, and then take some of the like middle place differential ones like Crafton, Gray, Holmes, Parson. Like, those are the ones that I like the best there. And then a couple of solid punt plays, which I think Holmes and Parson might fit into that also. So that's going to be how I build, and hopefully it goes well. Stay tuned for the truck video tonight. As always, if these videos help you, then you can help me back by liking, subscribing to the channel, and sharing with your friends. Viewership's been awesome this season so far, and really appreciate it. So I'm going to hop off now so I can get this produced and posted. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat below. Hit me up Regular31 on Twitter or X. And if you want more information on FSI DFS, you can go to the description of the video, and it has the link to our website for all our packages. It's only like $5 a week for NASCAR, and it's free this week because even though we didn't hit our goal I set out in the NASCAR Cup video last week, we did a really nice thing for somebody out there. So this week will at least be free for that, so you can sign up online. So if you do, just because I'll be doing a lot of things, if you don't get put in the Discord, just put your Discord username in a comment here if you don't get put in, so I know who you are, so I can add you on. So thanks for watching. I'll see you for the Cup video. Good luck in your contests, and I'll see you next time.